Part 3. Echoes of the Past. The figure before me radiates an aura of ancient power, its very presence seeming to warp the fabric of reality around us. I press my back against the alley wall, heart thundering in my chest, searching desperately for an escape that doesn't exist. "What do you want from me?" I demand, my voice cracking with fear despite my attempt at bravado. The being tilts its head, an unsettlingly human gesture from something so clearly not of this world.
Want?
It echoes, its voice a discordant whisper that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once.
I want nothing from you, Sarah Thorne. I am simply here to collect what is owed.
Before I can respond, the world around us begins to shift. The decrepit alley melts away like wax under a flame, replaced by a familiar scene that makes my breath catch in my throat. We're standing in my old office at City Hall. Everything is exactly as I remember it. The mahogany desk, the leather chairs, the view of the city skyline through floor-to-ceiling windows. But it's all wrong somehow. The colors are muted, as if seen through a layer of grime, and there's a heaviness to the air that speaks of decay and corruption. I see myself, seated behind the desk, younger and sharper, edged. A man sits across from me, his face a mask of desperation.
"Please, Miss Thorne,"
he begs.
"my family has lived in that neighborhood for generations. If this development project goes through, we'll lose everything."
The me behind the desk leans forward, a predatory smile playing at her lips. "Mr. Ramirez, progress always comes at a cost. The city needs this project. I'm sure you understand." I watch, horrified, as my past self slides a document across the desk. "Of course, if you were to sign this agreement not to contest the project, I'm sure we could find a way to compensate you for your inconvenience." The scene freezes and I turn to the shadowy figure beside me. "Is this real?" I ask, though I already know the answer.
This is memory.
The being replies.
Your memory. Unvarnished by the lies you've told yourself over the years.
Shame burns hot in my chest. I was doing what was best for the city, I protest weakly. The figure's laughter is like breaking glass.
Were you? Or were you doing what was best for Sarah Thorne?
Before I can argue further, the scene shifts again. We're in a dimly lit bar, smoke hanging heavy in the air. I see myself again, this time locked in intense conversation with a man I recognize as the city's police chief. "I need this investigation buried, John," my past self hisses. "If anyone finds out about the funds I've been diverting..." The chief nods slowly.
"It'll cost you, Sarah, more than usual."
"Whatever it takes," I hear myself say without hesitation. I turn away, unable to watch anymore. "Stop this," I plead with the shadowy figure. "I don't want to see anymore."
Of course you don't.
It replies, its tone almost gentle.
But wanting and needing are rarely the same thing, are they, Sarah?
The world shifts once more, and we're standing in a hospital room. The scene before us makes my heart clench painfully. An old woman lies in the bed, frail and pale. Machines beep steadily around her. And there I am, standing at the foot of the bed, impatience clear in every line of my body. "I'm sorry, Mother," I hear myself say, the words as cold and detached as I remember them. "But I have a campaign to run. I'm sure the nurses will take good care of you." I watch myself turn and walk out of the room without a backward glance, leaving my mother alone in her final hours. Tears stream down my face as I relive this moment of callousness. "I didn't know," I whisper. "I didn't know it would be the last time I'd see her."
Didn't you?
The figure asks softly.
Or did you simply not care?
I fall to my knees, overwhelmed by the weight of my sins. The being looms over me, its presence both terrifying and oddly comforting in its inevitability. Who are you? I ask again, looking up into its featureless face. What are you? The figure seems to grow, filling my entire field of vision.
I have many names.
It intones.
In your tradition, I am often called the Angel of Death. But I prefer a simpler title. I am the End.
A chill runs through me at these words. Are you here to kill me? The being, Death, shakes its head slowly.
You're already dead, Sarah Thorne. I'm here to guide you to what comes next.
And what is that? I ask, fear and curiosity warring within me. Death extends a hand towards me.
That depends entirely on you. Are you ready to face judgment for the life you've lived?
I stare at the offered hand, my mind reeling. All my life I've run from consequences, used my power and influence to avoid facing the results of my actions. But now, in this liminal space between life and whatever comes after, there's nowhere left to run. With trembling fingers, I reach out towards Death's hand. But before I can make contact, the world around us shatters like glass. I'm falling, tumbling through darkness, the echoes of my past ringing in my ears. When I open my eyes again, I'm back on the crumbling streets of the Purgatorial City. Death is gone, but I can feel its presence lingering, watching, waiting. I struggle to my feet, my legs shaky beneath me. The weight of my memories, of the person I was, threatens to crush me. But, for the first time in longer than I can remember, I feel something stirring within me. A desire to make amends, to be better. As I take a tentative step forward, I realize that my journey through this nightmarish reflection of my world has only just begun. And if I'm to have any hope of redemption, or even understanding, I'll need to confront every dark corner of my past. The thought terrifies me, but for once, I don't run from my fear. Instead, I take another step forward into the unknown.